You deserve quality healthcare for your body and mind regardless of your ability to pay. That's why Bowen Health conveniently offers trusted mental health care, primary health care, and addiction recovery treatment for everyone. Having regular checkups with a provider you trust means they can catch concerns early before they become an emergency. For compassionate healthcare, make an appointment today at bowenhealth.org. That's bowenhealth.org.
Well, welcome to the ThriveIN Wabash County podcast. In studio today are three of Visit Wabash County's most favorite people. I would have to say it's kind of like the team at Visit Wabash County has adopted all three of you. Would you agree with that a little bit? I mean, so today I am joined with the Lester family. Crystal, Billy, and Gavin are sitting in here, and we're just going to have a conversation of what it's like to have a family here. You both work here. You both pour into this community, go to church here, and what that's like for you and the whys behind it. So I'm glad to have each of you.
Happy to be here.
Yep, thank you. Glad to
Awesome.
be here.
So we're just going to kind of start right with your family, and especially in my office at Visit, as known as this family that volunteers together. I mean, that is just something that is so deep-rooted in all three of you. It echoes out of you year after year. And so where did that heart for volunteerism come from?
I probably volunteered and made them come along.
But where did it start for you, Chris?
They've grown to love it too. I'm not sure. I just really like to help people, and I like to be involved.
Yeah. Is that something that your family has done, grandparents, or is it something that really started with you?
Well, my dad really helps anyone he comes across, anyone that needs help. My grandma was really willing to help anybody around. That's my dad's mom. It kind of went to him, and now it's ingrained in me also.
So for you then, Billy, was that something that wasn't necessarily something that echoed through your family to volunteer in a community? Is that something that Crystal kind of introduced more to you?
It is not so much not wanting to volunteer, but just kind of, if you need help, we'll help you. Maybe not go out of our way, but absolutely love to help people. And she helped nudge that in us. It's like, I volunteers for this. I'm like, you what? And then once we did it a couple times, like we love it.
Crystal's known as the nice one. Like, right? You always have all these friends, and Crystal's always known as the nice one. Like, she's the one that's the first too. You know, she's going to call, check up, text, show up, even if it puts herself last at times. That's a beautiful gift that echoes inside of you, Crystal.
Thank you.
And I see that happen in Gavin. So, Gavin, what's it like for you to have this mom who's like, okay, Gavin, and we've signed up to do this now?
It's definitely annoying at times.
I appreciate the honesty.
But like Dad said, once you do it for a little while, it just becomes fun. Like, I look forward to volunteering for like Run the River and Dam to Dam and that stuff.
The list is long.
Yeah.
What is something that is one of y'all's favorites to volunteer as a family for?
I mean, my favorite, I think, is Dam to Dam.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's an all-day event. We're there early and hanging out with you guys. It's just awesome. It's really well run. Mm-hmm. You don't have to guess it, what you need to do. It's all laid out for you. And then they participate in the ride and then come back and help us tear down.
Yeah.
So I think that's my favorite.
Yeah. Either of you two have a favorite that sticks out?
I don't know that I necessarily have a favorite, but really just anything. Like Crystal said, she kind of comes in early, gets things going. We come in after and help clean up.
Yeah.
So really just being able to see beginning, the middle, and the end of it all come together and to be part of it, in all aspects of it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we all have a part in My Team Triumph, which I know if you guys haven't watched, season 1, episode 18.
Nice plug. He's after my job, isn't he? He's after this. Yeah. Well, I think Adam and Alex would kick me out real quick, so that would be an easy.
No.
Go ahead.
So, we do a lot with My Team Triumph.
Yeah.
We do a lot with, anybody that needs anything. We like to help out. So I don't know that I have an exact pinpoint of my favorite, but I like it all aspects of each of it. So
yeah. What about you, Gavin? All the things your parents rope you into, or is there something that you've chosen to volunteer for independently that's one of your favorites?
I really like after the Run the River, dead tired, but I love cleaning up after it. I don't know, there's just something about it, just seeing all the people that I know that ran it, that stay after, and then just helping tear everything down.
It's kind of one of those moments where you reflect just a little bit. And I love the interest here. So you always show up early, Crystal. You're there from the get-go in the beginning. These two show up, do the events, and then come back and help. And so sometimes you are dead dog tired, and you've given it your all. And that's got to feel really good for you to see your husband and your son accomplishing something together in regard to the run or the ride, and then still showing back up for the work.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it brings you joy.
It's great.
Speaking of My Team Triumph, that was an excellent episode. So anyone listening, if you've not listened to that episode, season 1, episode 18, is that right? Go back and listen to it. It is excellent and echoes every time we have guests in here and ask them if they have a favorite episode. That one's still it. But if I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, your introduction for both, well, actually all three of you to meet Todd with My Team Triumph was through our Wabash River Run Club, which is now Miles and Smiles, which you all helped name, I believe, right, when we renamed it?
Yep.
Is that how you all got connected?
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. I believe it was Todd and I just running together. Had never spoken, seen each other a couple times on the trail, and introduced ourselves. He kind of told me what he was doing, what he was involved with, and he was just kind of ramping up, the Wabash division of it. And I was like, that's really cool, and then I went home, kind of told Crystal about it. I'm like, this guy's, is doing this amazing things. Like I could never even picture myself being part of that. Part of it's the introvert in me. And another part's just doing something like that is just amazing. And then he messaged me on Facebook. He's like, hey, I've got this event. Just curious if you'd be interested in, being an angel for a captain. It was an event in Fort Wayne, and I told her, I was like super nervous, but I'm going to do it. And she's like, yeah, it sounds good. But he ended up messaging me back, and the captain's parents actually wanted to do it. So I was kind of bummed that I didn't get to do it, but that's pretty well how it started. And then he messaged me again, and we did it, and then actually seen an event where we got to watch some of them that could walk across the finish line, and, we're all like almost.
Yeah, that was Run the River.
It
Yeah,
was?
we're
kind of like half of us ugly crying, watching these.
I think we're all ugly crying, right?
So, yeah, we've been a big part of it ever since.
For our listeners who don't know, just a quick recap, what is My Team Triumph about?
So My Team Triumph basically helps individuals that can't necessarily, finish a race, whether it's a biking, whether it's swimming, running. Basically, we help them individuals cross the finish line, and it's all about them. Half the time when we register it, our names aren't even on the registration. We just show up, whether it's a half marathon, sprint, triathlon. We do it and get them across the finish line, and it's really good. It's really good.
There are a lot of things that I know that you, Billy, and Gavin, you do together. And Crystal, you're there making sure they have everything they need. They're there when they need to, cheering them on at the end, catching them when they're finished, right? Then making sure they have everything they need when they're done. But My Team Triumph, if I remember correctly, was first just you, Billy, correct? You were just the first volunteer out of your family actually running with an athlete or biking or swimming with an athlete. And then it wasn't too long, someone else started to participate. Gavin, what was that like? One, why did you decide to? Because it's hard. You're pulling someone who's heavier, more weight, right, on your bike, or pushing when running, pulling when swimming, right, if they're in the raft. What was that like, and why did you make that decision, Gavin?
The first time Dad approached me about it, I was terrified. I didn't want to do it at all.
Yeah.
I actually don't think I did it the first time. And then the next time, he was like, hey, yeah, you can do this with me. And I was a little iffy, but I did it. And then when we did the Dam to Dam, we did, the 50, I believe, with My Team Triumph. And Adam Stakeman actually convinced me to ride the last part with the captain.
The captain. So. And you're pulling them. You have to learn, there's a little bit, I'm assuming, of what that feels like when you're balancing on a bike and or running some of the bigger hills and whatnot with those strollers, correct? Is that are they called a stroller or a?
It's a bike.
They're race bikes.
The race bikes, but then so what does that feel like when you add that extra weight and also know this person's depending on you?
Yeah.
For beyond everything else, safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it was just kind of like training wheels. Like that's what I was thinking of it as.
Oh.
But it's definitely a lot harder. You can definitely tell they're back there. Like I get a little speedometer on my bike, and I average a little slower, so you can definitely tell they're back there. But it's for them. So
Until you go down
fun.
a hill.
Yeah.
You go down a hill, you're
Cooking.
You know it, yeah.
It's the exact opposite going up a hill too.
What's that like for you? And I would imagine this family of volunteerism. I mean, you guys have paid to come to our events and then stayed after and helped us clean them up. When I say that you are part of our team, I feel like we should be paying you. But Crystal, what is that like for you, and how has that changed your family dynamic to be this family who's showing up for each other, which you've always done, but now for others, and to see the role that the connection between Billy and Gavin, especially when they're out there?
It's been awesome. Just it fills my heart.
Has it changed your family at all?
Yeah. They've gone a lot closer. We all have, but those two, they've struggled with some hard-headedness between the both of them, I think.
Sure.
I mean, we all have it.
Yeah.
Those two in particular. But yeah, they've really grown together, and it's been beautiful to see.
It almost gets you a little bit right here when you see them finish something together, because
yeah.
who do you love more on this earth than these two? I mean, there's lots of people you love, but these two are your heart outside your body at times. And so I bet that is really remarkable to see their relationship change, but your family dynamic grow
Yeah.
in a much brighter way.
It's been great.
But you all have jobs in town. And so, Gavin, you started working where?
At Wabash Furniture.
And how long have you been there now?
Today's the second year.
Second year. And it's just summer work, right?
Just summer.
And Billy, you work where?
Down at Paperworks.
And you started there when?
Oh, Lord.
Well, 18 years ago
Yeah.
or 7.
It'd be
17 plus.
16 years ago.
Well, I was
17
pregnant.
years
I was
ago
pregnant
now.
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before
It's
I was
been a
born.
couple years.
and started general labor and you
Yeah.
are today, what are you?
I am the maintenance superintendent.
So that's an example of being at a company, having some loyalty there and having opportunity to grow.
Yep.
And so we've had past leadership from Paperworks here on the podcast, and that was one of the things that seemed to echo through his heart, was hoping that you would have individuals who could start at any place at Paperworks. And if you had the work ethic and the desire, there was opportunity for you to grow. And so
Absolutely.
did we settle on 16, 17, 18, somewhere in those numbers?
Yeah, I was pregnant for Gavin.
Yeah.
And he's 16.
Yeah, so 17.
17.
It had been
years.
17 years in March.
Thank you. That's quite a long tenure. Most people don't stick around that long in any position. So kudos to you. And then Crystal, you, where do you work? And
I work for Erectech Corp. It's my dad's steel erection company here in town. Jeff Walden. I am his office girl.
I think you're a little more than
Oh, yeah.
problem
I'm-
solver, chief
I'm like-
operations officer. I've been with you and you're like, oh, I've got to get this call. It's for work,
Yeah.
There's an interesting dynamic. So Erectech, that's the name of your dad's company, right? They don't always do work here. It's like large scale,
It's commercial steel framing.
Yeah.
Commercial stores and stuff.
like
And they
Taco
do it.
John's and
Yeah,
gas stations,
they do
right?
a lot of Aldi's.
Oh, see? That's amazing.
Yeah, in different states away.
So they
Not
travel.
a lot here in Indiana. Some Ohio. We've had some in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Yeah,
And how long has your dad had the company? Rough estimate?
like 16 years.
Wow. So that's like, I mean, you talk about entrepreneurship and then generationally that you've been helping. And I know, Gavin, you're no stranger in that office either.
Nope.
From when you were little till this age when you had your own job. And then you all attend church. Your church is
Bachelor Creek.
Bachelor Creek. You volunteer. You all have jobs. You're a full-time student, I assume, when school's in session. You do sports, cross country,
Cross country and track.
and robotics.
Yep.
See? So you all have these my team Triumph, all these volunteer roles. You guys show up anytime we call you. How do you manage that work-life balance? You know, I think about how full your days must be. What is that like
They
for
can
you?
be, but we still have time. Like we could still do more if needed. We just work it in.
But there can be those that lean and are called workaholics. I used to be one. You know, I just did an episode with Dave Phillips. We both talked about how harmful that can be to a family to be a workaholic. That was me for a long time. Are you intentional about choosing time for each other? Or is it just naturally how your family dynamic is?
I mean, we have time.
Yeah.
I mean, do we set it aside not really, but we do have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time, especially Gavin and I, running and biking and, not necessarily training for events, but for me, it's
Just
kind
going
of
out and
helps
having
with,
a good time.
yeah, it helps with my sanity with trying to manage everything. Like, so it kind of helps offset the stress of everything else going on.
I would imagine your role can be stressful. And I imagine yours can be stressful, working with family at any time. Or when you have crews that are off-site or far away, states away. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility in there. And then for you too, Gavin, is there something that you're 16? I cannot believe he is 16 years old.
Me either.
Brooks always says the days are long, but the years are lightning, But back to Gavin. We're talking about you, Gavin. Okay, so you're 16. What have you learned through this? Watching the way that your parents say yes often, and sometimes they're like, okay, Gavin, this is what we're doing this week. And you're like, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Yes, Mom. Of course, Mom signed us up for this again. But what have you learned through that, and what have you seen in your parents?
Well, there's always an opportunity to help people, and you can always find time to fit other people into your schedule, no matter how busy you are. And they've taught me to love helping people to where it just becomes natural.
Have you witnessed what it's done for them as your parents?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's made us all bond. And just, like, I can see between them, like, they're a lot happier. They don't yell at me as much.
Maybe you're responding a lot better. I don't know.
Yeah, that too. It's definitely changed me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and in what ways do you think? Do you think it's an awareness, or what do you think it is that's changed you?
I'm not sure, actually. I've been happier, I think, ever since, being involved in my Team Triumph. Like, I love helping people. It brings me joy when I do.
Yeah, just seeing his smile come across the finish line with helping, pushing, pulling it's amazing, especially just being, on the parent side of things. It's good seeing him happy doing that. Because a lot of these mornings are early, up 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Getting on the road. A lot of these races are, as far south as Indianapolis, as far north as Goshen. We've got a sprint triathlon next weekend with my Team Triumph. And we got to be up early and, an hour and a half away sometimes. So
Some training mornings haven't went very well. So to see the progress that he's made has been great.
there may have been some items, phones thrown into the woods during some training sessions. And
But that's
we've
growth.
had some issues. It is. And,
Yeah.
and that's the biggest thing I've seen in him is his maturity towards people, just towards, you've got to get this done. You've got responsibilities. You signed up for this. Let's get it done type of thing. And at the end of the day, he's like, yep, let's do it. Let's get it done. I'm game.
Yeah.
And
Do your friends volunteer? What's your peer group like?
Well, I've got some friends that I've been trying to get involved, and they were like me. They're very hesitant. Like, get involved in my Team Triumph. Like, that's a scary thing, but I think it's worth it. And you've got Raymond Swick. He's volunteered a couple times.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
What would you say to anyone in your age demographic who isn't volunteering? One, what would they get out of it, whatever it is? And two, where would you recommend them to start?
Well, first off, the relationships you make volunteering, that's amazing. You can't replace those.
Where would you have them start? Would you have them reach out to you, or where do these young people go if they don't have two parents like yours who are really active and choose to seek out opportunities for not only themselves but for you? But where would you recommend someone your age to go to find a place to volunteer?
Well, you can go to me. I could point you to either you or Todd or just anybody that would know anything else more than me.
Does your school encourage volunteerism at all in the community?
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as probably I'd like, but there's definitely a lot of volunteer opportunities out there.
Well, I think I've seen you and your sister show up at the animal shelter when the shelter was in crisis, and that was without your parents wanting to be present and serve in a different kind of capacity. And, I think you would both agree, Billy and Crystal, that the pouring in that you're giving to Gavin is giving him not only that follow through and commitment, but a piece of self-confidence that emanates through him as his own individual, right? He's got confidence in the choices he's making. And then not only that, but he's now becoming one of those influences for his friends, right? Who can talk about what that can be when you can do something for others. Yeah. You all also, speaking of some big family trips and starting early, you all just came back from Europe. The highs and the lows. You all giggle.
It was an adventure.
Yeah, maybe it's because I know more of the behind the scenes. But you all traveled. Where did you guys head to, Gavin? It was through school. So where'd you head to?
We went to London, Paris, and then Barcelona on a 10-day trip.
10-day trip. All three of you together. First time out of the country for all three of you?
Yep.
He's been to Canada.
Okay.
Billy's been to Canada.
Yeah, for work.
We'll count it. Hey,
Yep.
we'll count it. You have to have a passport.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you went on an adventure. The school put this program together. You three had been planning for this for like a couple years, right, to make this trip together. And it gives us perspective to see what the rest of the world looks like compared to where you spend most of your time, which is in this amazing county that Wabash County is.
Always good to be home.
It is always good to be home, with or without your luggage at times.
Yes. Hey, this shirt actually came from my luggage.
First time you've seen that in a while.
First time I've
he's
worn it.
It was new for the trip.
It was. So tell me a little bit about what that was like for you all to be in a different place as a family that volunteers together, prays together, now travels together. What was that like?
It was an amazing experience. The teachers at Northfield got together and, put this meeting together. Do you want to go on this trip? And it was intimidating at first. We were like, can we do this? I don't know. But we did 2 years later. Went on the trip, and it was an adventure. Like, we had record heat wave, and things were shut down, and bags got lost, and
It was hot as Hades
I was
over
going to
there.
say
really hot.
it was hot.
Yeah.
It was kind of miserable.
Yeah.
They don't really have much AC over in the UK, Europe, period.
Yeah.
And
It's different.
yeah,
we
it
drank
was-
lots of water with no ice.
Yeah.
But did you find that most people actually are friendly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always find that there's good and bad in all places,
Yeah.
but there's sometimes an unnecessary fear of seeing other places and this fear of being in different cultures and in different communities. And I always find that for the majority, most people are nice. Americans
Yeah.
are the ones that sometimes forget their manners at times.
That's for sure.
Yeah. I think Paris would have been the one that surprised me the most about not really rude they were, but not really accepting of tourists there.
Yeah.
Like, to me, pictured Paris as, like, hello, welcome.
It's the city of
and
love.
And it was like, excuse you.
Oh, like New York City. Okay, it was like New York City.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always felt, did you ever feel unsafe at any time?
No, not really.
No? Would you go you had a luggage snafu, right? So your luggage was late one day?
Yeah.
Is that right, Crystal?
Yeah, Billy and I went one day without our luggage. Gavin went most of the trip without his luggage.
Most of the trip and like a month and a couple weeks.
Yeah. So it finally arrived this week, didn't it?
Yep.
I saw a picture of your luggage has finally found you.
Yeah.
You'll never travel without air tags again, will you?
Absolutely not.
Those little tracking things. I think it's great that the school system is still putting trips together like that, and then you both chose to experience that with Gavin. Where do you want to go next?
I want to go to Greece and, I want to go to Germany, but keep my bags.
So just a backpack, carry
That's
on.
where they got lost.
Yeah.
You want to go where your bags were? You want to visit the place your bags have been?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Germany, Greece, anywhere else that's on your list so far? Those two?
Yeah.
That'll be a good start.
Definitely those two.
That's a good start. Billy, for you?
I would like to go to Ireland, I think. I think that's on my bucket list.
The
so.
bag went there.
Yeah, the bag did go
did.
there.
Yep, went to Dublin.
It's too bad your bag didn't have to get like stickers like old-timey trunks. Wouldn't that have been amazing every time it landed somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ireland's on your list, Billy. What about you, Crystal?
Probably Italy and Greece.
Really? Well, you guys have got time. Start putting them together. Or wait till he's gone, then you don't have to pay for him
Whoa,
anymore.
whoa.
No, maybe he can pay for us.
Yeah.
No.
Return the
I'll
favor.
just tag along.
I love that your family, even though it was hot, the AC is not quite as nice. And there is an ice everywhere. And the luggage snafu. The fact is that you all haven't been tainted by the hope of traveling again. I feel
No,
like the
I would
world
love to
is
do it again.
Oh yeah.
great, big, and beautiful, isn't it? All right, so you've talked a lot about some of the places that you all have volunteered together as a family. But what about Wabash County do you think, and beyond volunteering, because obviously you all three choose to get involved. That's a choice. Every single day we get to choose how we show up for ourselves, for our families, for our community. But for this community itself, Wabash County as a whole, why do you choose to raise your family here? I mean, what do you see here that's so valuable?
We're both from here, born and raised here. I like how it's small and most people know each other. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. But for the most part, I like the size of it. I like that, at the school, the class sizes are smaller. They're closer to the teachers. Any help that they need, it's there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just that it's small.
Mm-hmm. It feels neighborly in that smallness.
People are nice.
They care.
People, yeah.
Sometimes they care so much that it's called being nosy, but it's still caring in a different kind of feel.
Yep.
What about you, Billy?
It is.
Because you grew up here too.
I did. I've always lived in the country, grew up in the country. We lived in town a little spell when we started dating and got married. But I love being able to just get out. I mean, we've got the reservoirs, you got Missinawall, you got Salamone. There's plenty of stuff to do if you want to be outdoors. Mm-hmm. And also, in town, there's always events. You've got the Speakeasy, you've got all downtown. At any weekend, you can go downtown and just walk around and find something to do between the theaters and the restaurants. And I mean, it's almost like a big city in a little city. There's always something to do. People are nice. You can walk around and somebody's going to say hi, good evening, good morning. It's just, I like it. It's my type of atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Not a big city guy, not a big group, crowded situation guy. Mm-hmm. So I like it. I love being able to go on the river trails. I love being able to do whatever you want to do. And you could ride your bike from one end of the county to the other and have all kinds of options to do in between. Mm-hmm. So it's good.
It also sounds like you feel safe enough to do those things. And what I mean is, like, it is a secure feeling to know that you don't have to worry about your car getting broken into. Mm-hmm. Parking is free. Some people think that this is too small, but after I've been to big places and big cities, and you've experienced lots of big cities, there is something that just feels like home in a whole different way in this community. And I agree. People are nice. There's a plethora of options to do. It's big city feel without big city cost, right? I mean, in regard to the amenities that you've covered. And your family chooses to take advantage of those. Some don't. And we hear that and we see that sometimes. And it's real easy to be a Debbie Downer on the social media. We're not perfect. But I would say is the Lesters are a family that then gets out there and how can we help be the change that we want to see in the world? And then take advantage of all the great things that we do have, because you've seen other places that don't have the same amenities, quality of life in place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that safety and that security, Gavin, what is it like for you to grow up in a town like Wabash County?
Well,
Or a town or a community the size of, I guess I should say, Wabash County.
yeah. Well, first off, all my friends live pretty close. Like, my one friend, I can ride my bike to his house if I wanted to. Yeah. The community is great. Like Dad said, you can go downtown on the weekend. There's always something to do. Chances are you know like 10 people down there at least. It's good to catch up. Like, it's a big enough town to where you can find somebody you haven't seen in a couple of years, catch up, or somebody you saw last night. Mm-hmm. It's great. I love it.
I always think of, I'm glad that you said that. I always think of downtown kind of like as the front porch of life. That's just this gathering place where you can't go 4 or 5 steps without seeing somebody and having a conversation, and they're going to say, oh, how was your trip to Europe? Or how are you feeling? Or what's Gavin up to these days? Or Gavin, what have your parents been doing? And there's something of value in others recognizing and stopping and caring about where you are in your place and in your life sometimes, I feel like,
Yeah. Yeah, we got back from Europe and it was first Friday. As soon as we parked, like we were barely out of our car, and someone was like, "Oh, how was Europe?"
Yeah, how was the trip? Tell us more. All of the things that you both pour into each other and into raising your son here. I assume your one child is all you're going to have? Are you thinking maybe?
Oh, we're not going to have
Okay,
any
I was just making didn't want to speak for you. I assumed that was the case since he was 16. But what do you hope that? And we'll talk about Gavin like he's not sitting here. What do you hope he gets out of all the things you're pouring into him? Community, volunteerism, training, working hard. What do you hope that does for him as he sails off someday?
Well, first, I want him to be rooted in Christ, first priority, and all that stuff will just kind of fall in line. But that's what we've tried to instill in him, and I hope that that's the way he chooses. You know, we're here to serve other people. That's our job. That's our mission.
What about for you, Billy? What's up? What do you hope that Gavin walks away from all of this? You know, even though he's throwing his phone in the woods at times.
I threw his phone.
Yeah.
in the woods.
Oh, thank you for the clarification. It escalated to that point.
Yep.
Okay. Big conversations are happening. Okay. But truly, what do you both do so much. What do you want him to walk away with?
I want him to be passionate about life, about other people's feelings. Maybe not so much to the point of, that's a hard question. Because we want everything for your kids. You want them to be able to do anything they want, have anything they want, ultimately without working for it. Although you want to instill those values that you have to work for things. Nothing's going to be handed to you. If it is, it's probably not going to last if you don't work to keep it. But he's a smart kid. He's a hard worker. He can do anything that he puts his mind to. I just want him to know that, we've got his back. If he keeps those relationships open, you treat people right, somebody's always going to have your back. So he's a good kid. He's a pain in the butt, but
He is
he's a good kid.
Excellent young man. I've said that since the first day I ever got to meet you, Gavin. What is that like to hear your parents say those kind of things, like pouring out? And others are going to hear this, right? But what does that feel like to hear that from your parents in such an incredible way?
I don't know. It feels good.
Yeah. And when you hear those things, you already know those things are taking place and taking root in you because that's how you're pouring back out to others, right? And your friends, they love probably being around your parents.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what you want, right? You want to be that safe house for all the friends who always feel secure in a place to go. For those who, you have so many different organizations you have touched through church, through work, through friendships, through volunteerism. Do any of you have an organization, a nonprofit that you would love either people to know more about or could support in a bigger way?
Just probably my Team Triumph, like more angels.
And the angels are those who are the physical hands and feet in cycling, right? And the captains are the heroes, the stars that are the actual athlete that you are being the hands and the feet for. Is that a good description?
Yep.
Right.
So they could always use more of those angels. So what do you guys think a thriving Wabash County looks like in 10 years? Look into your crystal balls because you guys have been building. Every act that you all choose, every time you go to work on time, produce the right product, mentor the people that you're around, step up and show up when there are volunteer gaps in services. You guys were just helping in North Manchester last minute yesterday. I know it was like a cry.
They didn't need us last minute.
Oh, because of the rain.
The rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were willing.
We were ready.
Yeah, we were ready to walk out the door.
Yeah, for sure. You were willing. You're doing this, obviously, to be the hands and feet of Christ. That's the ultimate call. But that creates lasting change and impact. Sometimes it's one moment at a time. What does a thriving Wabash County look like in 5 years, 10 years to you? Any of you?
I mean, I think ultimately you have to continue that. There always has to be somebody willing to help. You always have to try to bring people in, try to tell people about these great things that are going on, whether it's, My Team Triumph or a music festival or, anything, whether it's a revival at a church or you always have to be talking about something. The day that people quit talking about things and volunteering for things is when ultimately things are going to just stop. Things aren't going to happen. So I think as long as you keep that door open, keep bringing in new ideas, and which you guys do an amazing job at. I mean, we have to have you guys doing that. If it weren't for you guys, things would stop. You always have to keep bringing new things in, new ideas. some things work, some things don't, but you have to keep trying. So as long as we keep having those things, then I think that's what it's going to take.
You're kind sometimes. So I get paid to do those things. So you're being awfully kind to the team at Visit Wabash County. And we have a lot of great counterparts in Grow Wabash County and Manchester Alive and Downtown Wabash Inc. and the Grow Canal Foundation. That list is super long, the cities and the towns. We all get paid. That's our jobs. You all are showing up as volunteers because you care bigger. And that's the truth. Billy, you talked about, you have to keep talking about and upselling it. You are the ambassadors for this community. And if we want future investment, we have to, one, be good stewards of what we have. And that's what all three of you are consistently doing. You're being good stewards of what is already here and then looking at ways to lean into what could be. And we all have a responsibility to help build it up. Mm-hmm. And if not, we're tearing it down. Those are the only options, right? And so a thriving Wabash County can look any way we want it to as long as we're willing to do the work and preserve what we have. What do you think we need in this community that we don't have, Gavin?
Well, it's not that we don't have it, but I think we definitely need more volunteers.
Oh.
We need people getting involved in the community a lot more.
Yeah, we do. There are a lot of organizations, nonprofit organizations, and even some for-profit organizations that do some great events that need help. Do you feel that you're connected stronger to our community because you choose to volunteer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would definitely say that.
That's what we've had these big conversations with other thought leaders and stakeholders, even just recently, about the importance of getting youth Gavin's age through college and even younger because Gavin, you've been helping. I mean, since I've gotten to know you, you've always been helping. Always been helping.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, for a long time. But there's a sense of connection to community that our youth get when they get to participate in being part of the community beyond just going to school and the responsibilities of track practice or cross-country practice and going to a job. I mean, that giving of self makes them feel more connected and deeper rooted. And ultimately, we hope someday Gavin chooses to return and or stay and call this place home for you as well. We want to see you see yourself here. Did that make sense? We want you to see yourself here.
Yep.
Yeah, in the future, your future self.
Yeah.
So this podcast is one of those great examples where we have great, amazing conversations. I know Crystal's like, what are we even going to talk about? But I get the unique opportunity. I get to given that this is what I'm supposed to do is talk because that's what I do for a living. But just shine spotlights on families, individuals who are pouring back through their work, through their church, through volunteerism as a family, and making this community strive and be even stronger. So if each of you had a podcast, get ready to get your thinking caps on. If you each had a podcast, and we're going to go around robin, we're going to start with Gavin, who would you want to interview on a podcast and why? And you can't pick me because I'm already here. Okay. Who would you, and it could be living, dead, anyone. Famous, not famous.
Oh, geez. I don't know.
You can't think of anyone you'd want to talk to? We'll come back to you.
Okay.
Billy?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's hard.
It is hard because yeah.
Hard? My list is like 10 pages long.
Yeah, but we don't
Can I see that
talk.
list?
You wanna sneak a pick?
We're not talkers.
No, you're doers.
We're doers.
You're doers.
Most of the events that we volunteer for, we're like behind the scenes. Like we don't have to interact with people.
Oh my gosh. So no surprise guests. My lists include people like, I'd love to talk to Anne Frank. My gosh, wouldn't that be amazing to see what that was like for her? I mean, we've read her diaries. We've seen all the remake movies. Of course, Jesus. Duh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus is
Come
number
on,
one.
you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I have some questions. I'd also like to talk to Noah because I want to know some more how this whole ark thing
thing
worked
worked.
with
Yeah.
all like were the dinosaurs there or not, right? So some of those clarifying questions. Gandhi, I mean, Matthew McConaughey. All right. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So no guests for you guys then, huh?
I guess I would love to interview Stan Lee. I'm a big Marvel guy, so
I don't know who Stanley is.
he's the creator of like Marvel comics,
Is Marvel, Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman?
like Spider-Man, Captain America.
Oh,
Yeah,
the green guy?
Hulk.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He's green. Okay. So he's the creator. What would
Yeah.
you want to ask him?
Well, first off, I would ask him how he came up with all these characters, because I know one interview is like they're just everyday people who had some superpowers. Like, he wanted to create characters who were like you, who were like me, and just so we could relate to them.
Yeah. And you love the Marvel family? Is that what that would be called?
Franchise. Yeah.
Thank you, Crystal. Always have my back. You think of anybody yet to interview?
Oh, I didn't
You
know.
moved past
I thought
it.
we were past
Billy's
that.
like, I'm done with that question.
I was-
It is over. I'm done with it. Well, I am grateful that you three took the time on a Sunday to sit down and have this conversation with me. You are right, Billy. A lot of the times, the three of you are behind the scenes, the quiet helpers, the ones that aren't collecting stars or Boy Scout badges to wear on your sleeve. You show up in ways that sometimes are soft and quiet, sometimes are bold and brave, doing new things like you do with my Team Triumph. Sometimes it's just working a check-in counter at, Wabash Run the River, Dam to Dam, or catching the winners as they cross. That's a really hard job, catching them and making sure we got first place and second place.
Crystal also, and Gavin did for a while, like every race that I've done by myself, that we've done together, we've done with my Team Triumph, like she's there keeping us together, making sure we have everything. She's up every morning with us. Like, she's our biggest fan, our biggest cheerleader, helping with transitions, making sure things running smooth, taking pictures. Like, so not only is she helping with, everything that she does with you guys, and she's also, every race helping us. So
We couldn't do it without her.
nope, absolutely.
Man, we should just end right there. And I'm going to save these words for you forever. Again, unsung hero, right? She's not getting the praise at the end of the finish line where the crowds are clapping. And that's not why you gents do that. I know that. She's that soft, secure. She's going to have what you need at the end, and she's going to be preemptive before Crystal. So that's really incredible that they feel that, It hits them.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? Sometimes they see it. Of course they do. But this podcast wants to shine spotlights, and not that you want that, but we can't do what we do without people like you, all three of you. And we can't, especially we have to look to parents like the both of you who are already pouring into Gavin to see the value in where he lives. This may not be where you end at the end of this. You'll grow up, you might go somewhere else and do something big, or you may do something big right here. But the fact that while you're here, you're present. You're pouring in and you're loving this place the best that you can and learning what that feels like, even in the hard and in the woods. But that's the purpose of this, is to be able to thank each of you. And so eternally, on behalf of myself, my team, the city, the county, and all of those thousands and thousands of moments that you have impacted and changed for the better. Thank you. I really mean that.
Thank you.
Thanks for allowing us.
Thank you.
It's great.
It is great.
It's a lot of fun for us too.
And it's a lot of fun for me and my team. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, the Lesters are here. Oh, we got the Lesters. They're ride or die. They're going to show up for us. There are several others that have taken a chance on us, and that includes those who heard this idea that we were going to do a podcast and thought, yeah, sure, we'll support that. And people like the Gilman Investment Fund, the Sandra Kunkel Trust, Mark and Amy Ford, Bowen Health, Paperworks Industries, the City of Wabash, the Community Foundation of Wabash County, and of course, Visit Wabash County. They make this podcast possible. So until next time, I'm Christine Floor, and this is ThriveIN Wabash County.